Hi, and welcome to Graham's Rusty Dragon Inn Complex. The Rusty Dragon Inn Complex is a sort of an inn which is just before the Neverwinter Woods. And it's the last place travellers and adventurers can have a rest before entering the Neverwinter Woods for finding treasures, but they've got to watch out for monsters and undead in those woods. And the Rusty Dragon Inn Complex is east of Neverwinter itself on the Sword Coast of Faerun, pretty close to Thunder Tree actually. It's only a small complex, and it's made up mainly of the Rusty Dragon Inn itself, which has a lovely bar, and there's some people dancing in the inn, and there's room for a few travellers. And also, if you're wealthy or an aristocrat, you can have a solo room by yourself. If there's too many people to stay in the Dragon Inn, we have the Stone Cottage, which has also got room for about another 6 visitors, plus a solo room for the more wealthy. Each of the Stone Cottage and the Rusty Dragon Inn have a ensuite toilet facility, so anybody living in them or staying in them doesn't have to go outside to the 2 outer toilets, which are outside in the graveyard. Well, there's 2 spectres and a ghost in the graveyard, so not a good idea to go out there. At the back here we have a laundry, so it can be nice and clean before you go adventuring. And at the back of the laundry there's some archers having a bit of a practice on a target. There's a little bit of a sort of town square with a merchant selling some goods and some children playing as well. Over here at the back of the Rusty Dragon Inn itself, we have the kitchen, which makes some great food. And also some blacksmith artificers have moved in as well, making new sorts of armour and weapons. As we come down here to the side, oh, there's a green dragon. Got to watch out for him. He's sort of being controlled by a few kobolds and a couple of dragonborn fighters, so I hope he's going to be under control. Coming to the front of the inn, there's a summoning circle with some low-level wizards trying to sum up creatures from the Feywild, hopefully not the Shadowfell. I think they've been quite successful there because there's a pixie and some sprites. But walking along the road, whoa, we have a hill giant. He smelt that lovely food coming from the kitchen. But he's also being controlled by the little halfling bard Lem, who reads poetry to him and keeps him under control. But there's a couple of monks, I think, here as well, and they're also making sure the hill giant doesn't get out of control. At the front here we have some favourite characters. There's Dritz with his pet drake, artist Simba and Dragonbait from the island of Chulk, which is way down south on the Sword Coast. We have Halia Thornton back here from Phandalin, Valinda Shadowmantle also from the island of Chulk, and some more of my real favourites. Here we have Cedric, or Vedric, who is actually Rudolph von Richen in disguise. I like him because he's got a cane. And at the back there we see he's got a familiar called Farley the Owl. And right next to Cedric, or Vedric, is another one of my favourites. It's Mr. Witch from the Witchlight Carnival. He's also got a cane, and next to him is the pincushion living doll. At the back of them is Esmeralda d'Avenir, who's actually Rudolph von Richen's protege, and she's come with her own campfire and wagon, which is drawn by 2 horses here. Oh, this looks like a Golthias tree from the Sunless Citadel in the Yawning Portal. We have some lovely young ladies under that. There's a UNT, a sprite, not a sprite, a dryad and a nymph. But beware, over to the east here, we have some creatures coming in from the Neverwinter Wood. There's some goblins being controlled though by a cleric. And at the back here, we have some actors, but unbeknownst to him, we have an invading horde of zombies and ghouls with one fighter guarding them. And further to the back, there's some terrorfolk circling, but they're being observed quite closely by a friendly Aarakocra called Nephra, who's trying to keep them under control. So going back through the graveyards in the back there, there's lots of familiar characters here in the Rusty Dragon Inn. You might also see Dernan from the actual Yawning Portal back there too, having a great time with the dancers. And in front here, we have a few more characters. We have some rogues practicing their talents down the side alley there. And coming back, there's another aristocrat standing out in front of the Rusty Dragon Inn. So we just pan up and pan out again. And for now, I'll say goodbye from the Rusty Dragon Inn and happy adventuring. Bye.